Hey, it's Nate Savage here again, and welcome to video 5 of the Rhythm Guitar Quick Start series. In this lesson, we're going to learn another very important bar chord shape, one that's based off of your open A major chord, and it just uses the top 5 strings of the guitar. This concept here is going to be very similar to when we took your power chord shape and moved it from a 6-string root note to a 5th-string root note. We're basically going to be doing the same thing from your 6-string bar chord shape, and we have another one that has the 5th-string root note bar chord shape. Getting the shape underneath your fingers is going to be really important because just like your power chords, you don't want to be jumping all around all the time. The same thing applies here. Once you get this shape down, you don't have to jump all up and down the fretboard to play your bar chords, right? Before we get into the actual shape that we're going to learn, let's just take a look at the note names on the A string or the 5th string. Those are going to be your root notes for this bar chord shape. So you have your open A, and then a B here, C, D, and so on. What we're going to do is start by making an open A chord. That's going to be kind of your foundational starting point, but just like when we did our other bar chord shape, we have to make this with our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers instead of our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd fingers. So that's really your first step to learning this new bar chord shape. So all your fingers, all 3 of those fingers will be on the 2nd fret. Your middle finger will be on the D string. 3rd finger will be on the G string. And your pinky will be on the B string. And you can leave the 6th string out, just strum the top 5 strings. That may take a while to build up that dexterity, and it may feel really awkward at first, but that's what you gotta learn how to do. Once you get that down, what you're gonna do is come back with your index finger and kind of fake a bar right here. And just get used to that shape and how it feels. Once you're comfortable with that, what we're going to do is move our bar up to the 3rd fret and make a bar chord here using this shape. Now, what I want you to do is remember all the tips I gave you about making a good sounding bar. Be right behind the fret. Don't come down on just the middle part of your finger right here, the fleshy part. You want to come down on the bony edge right there to make it a little cleaner sounding, right? And then mess around with your placement this way to get the cleanest sound. A lot of times on a 5-string bar chord like this, I won't fret the low E string, but my index finger will brush up against it just to keep it muted in case I accidentally hit it. So what you want to do once you have your bar placed there on the 3rd fret is come down with the rest of your shape with your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers and play the top 5 strings, leave the 6th string out. So was your bar chord clean sounding, or was it a little dead sounding like that? If so, just double check yourself. Make sure you come down on the tips of your fingers on the rest of the shape. Make sure your bar chord is real strong right behind the fret. And just work on that. Again, for this shape, you can train yourself, kind of cross-train. Put the bar on first, then put the shape on. Then do the opposite. Put the shape on, and then do the bar. And eventually you're going to want to get to where you can put this bar chord on all at once. Bar and shape all at the same time. And alternatively, here's another shape for this chord. You can use your 3rd finger as a mini bar too to hit all 3 of those strings. And that is a little bit harder and it feels a little bit different, but that's another fingering for that you might want to check out. So play around with this shape, move it all around the fretboard, and remember that the lowest note you're playing here on the 5th string with your index finger with that bar is where you get the specific name for whatever bar chord you're playing. So like here I'm playing a C bar chord because this note right here on the 3rd fret of the 5th string is a C. C major bar chord. Same thing if I moved up to where my bar was on the 5th fret, the note on the 5th fret of the A string is a D if you look at the graphic. So if I make that bar chord shape here, I would be playing a D major bar chord using the A major shape. Once you get this bar chord shape down, what you're going to want to do is start mixing it up with your 6th string bar chord shape or your E major bar chord shape. And just like the power chords we learned, instead of jumping all around, like if I wanted to play a G, C, D progression using bar chords, I could use my 6th string E major shape, right, to play a G, a C, and a D. But again, that's a lot of moving around. You can use your 6th and 5th string root notes mixed up to play a lot more efficient version of that. So if you want to play a G major bar chord using the E shape, because this note here on the 3rd fret of the low E string is a G, right? Then what we can do is use our 5th string shape to play a C instead of jumping all the way up here. And what's cool about this is you can leave your bar where it is and just switch from your E shape to your A shape. And this note right here on the 3rd fret of the 5th string is a C, so that gives us our C chord using the A shape. So that's one change you're gonna wanna get down really well, is going from your E-shaped bar chord to your A-shaped bar chord. Just back and forth. That's a really important change that every rhythm guitarist should have down. So if you want to finish your G, C, D progression, it's really easy. All you have to do is move your C bar chord that you're playing here up 2 frets, and that puts your index finger on the 5th fret of the A string, which gives us our D bar chord. So instead of jumping around to play G, C, D, using all 6 string E shapes, we can mix up the 6th and 5th string root note shapes to play that chord progression a lot more efficiently. Take as much time as you need to get these shapes down individually before trying to switch between them, right? If you try to switch between these bar chord shapes before you really have them down, you're going to cause yourself a lot of undue frustration. And if you really have them down, it's going to be a lot easier to just switch in between them like that. Now we need to apply this to some real music. So pull up the jam track for this lesson. It's the same jam track that we used to work on our power chords with. So it's a G, C, D progression for 1 measure for each chord. And you can keep the strumming really simple if you want. If you just want to do a whole note and just concentrate on the chords and making the changes, that's fine. If you want to do quarter notes for each chord, that's fine too. Let me just give you a little example of what that'll sound like over the jam track. So do you see how knowing your 6th and 5th string major bar chord shapes kind of keeps you from jumping all around the fretboard? We stayed in one small area to play that G, C, D chord progression. Thanks for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. In the next lesson, we're going to go over some minor bar chords that you need to add to your chord library. If you have any questions about this lesson, you can leave them here in the comments or email me, Nate@guitarsystem.com. See ya.